No intro, ladies and gentlemen. This is absolutely crazy. So I've looked into this. The Trump administration is now withholding disaster relief from American states that boycott Israel. So remember to pledge allegiance to Israel before your house is destroyed by a fire and a hurricane. This is precisely what I predicted would happen. And here's the thing. Alex Jones comes in. Good news. Under pressure, they reversed. Now, I've looked into this. This shit is confusing. The Trump administration is doing a terrible job with optics. Because on one hand, the Department of Homeland Security came out and said, no, this isn't true. This isn't true. FEMA funds are not contingent upon support of anyone. And then they go in and talk about anti-Semitism and, DHS will enforce all anti-discrimination laws and policies, including as it relates to the BDS movement. Isn't that like a K-pop boy band? Which is expressly grounded in anti-Semitism. Why are you talking about anti-Semitism? Why are you talking about Israel? This clearly says disaster relief funds. Disaster relief funds are for American citizens that are going through disaster relief. And then on top of that, you were exposed as lying because the quartering of all people came out and exposed that on your website you had this framework. Why did you put this in there? Did you not think this was going to backfire? And now apparently you've changed it. Apparently you have changed it. According to some people, they say that it's been changed. They say that this is version 3. I don't know. This is just confusing. Why isn't this simple? Why did you put this in there in the first place? Why is this a story? This is one of the most easily avoidable things that I've ever seen. Why would you ever make Americans have to kiss the ring of Israel in order to get financial relief aid? I don't care if they boycott Israel. I don't care if they say disparaging things. And do you know why? Because we have the freedom of speech in this country. And Israel is an ally. They're an ally of ours. But they're not our country. They're not, they're our closest ally. That doesn't mean that they're American. And the same way that the UK is an ally, but I'm going to criticize the hell out of Keir Starmer, and I wouldn't want to import any of what they're currently doing to Tommy Robinson on people here. I wouldn't want to import Keir Starmer's vision for his country or Sadiq Khan onto American people, even though we're allies. Same thing with Israel. We are allies, but they are a foreign country, and they should be treated as a foreign country. And there should be barriers and distinctions, which makes it easy to laugh when somebody in the UK, this constable, you remember the constable that said that he was going to extradite American citizens and jail them for offensive posts? Oh, you post something offensive on the Twitter, we're going to extradite you and throw you in Scotland Yard. People were laughing at it because they realized that while we may be allies, that is a ridiculous thing because our nations are independent. This is going to do more damage to Israel than you can imagine. Even people who support Israel are going to be pushing back on this, and I'm just here to tell you, if you actually hated Israel, if the Trump administration actually hated Israel, bravo. You are doing a lot of damage. You are doing a lot of damage to Israel and their optics and their PR with shit like this. Because Nick Fuentes and other people are going to be looking at this going, holy shit. Are you really trying to make aid for American citizens contingent on kissing the ring for Israel? Then you're going to get more Jew hatred. You're going to get more of the thing that you claim that you want to fight against because this is so incompetently done. You need to think before you speak. You need to double check before you act. You need to cross every T and dot every I. You need to work on your optics game because it has been abysmal over the last couple of weeks. So many prominent, in my opinion, fake MAGA were parroting that fake Reuters story as if it were fact. Well, so now you have, you see how this is so confusing? So now you've got people like this that are pretending that this didn't exist. So apparently they changed it. Apparently they did alter it. Why are you lying? You literally updated your guidelines 20 minutes ago. You do realize that all link shows the original document. So they did have the thing about Israel in there. They've changed it, and now you have people pretending that it didn't exist. All you had to do was not do this. Hey, major win. Here's some advice. If anyone in the government, in the Trump administration, comes to you and say, you know what, we need to really crack down on anti-Semitism, how about we make it contingent for these cities and states, before they can get disaster relief for American citizens, they have to promise that they're not going to boycott Israel or say anything negative about Israel or do anything in any way that might offend Israel. How about the person who says that? How about you grab them under each arm and you fling them out of the White House? Maybe Elon can build you a catapult and you chuck that person as far away from the White House as you can. Because that person is doing real damage. I don't know if they're actually pro-Israel or if they're anti-Israel. Because at this point, it's sort of like the horseshoe effect. It comes with the same result. And now people are talking, oh, look at the Trump administration, beholden to Israel, Netanyahu's bitch, Netanyahu's puppet. All because of this. And you have people that are going to regurgitate it and just basically lie. You know, not do any due diligence. But look at this. This administration works for the Jews, not Americans. This was so avoidable. Come on. Now, what I want to say in conclusion is that I have gotten emails from people saying, look, why are you so anti-Israel? I've actually had people ask me, why are you anti-Israel? Like, you do these videos, you criticize Israel a lot, you don't support them. No, I don't support Israel. As if they're our country. That's the difference. They're an ally. The UK is an ally. Canada is an ally. Doesn't mean I want Justin Trudeau coming in and making policy where, well, if you offend Justin Trudeau, if you offend Canadians, then, like, imagine if this were Canada. Imagine if the language were this, that if you boycotted a Canadian company, then you wouldn't get disaster relief fund from FEMA. People would be apoplectic. Or what about the UK? Or what about Russia? Russia's not an ally, but, you know, one of these Marxist, communist, far left activists, for some reason says, you know what? I'm a huge fan of Karl Marx. I want to, I want to put it in the bill that if you insult Karl Marx or, the proletariat or the bourgeoisie, if you insult any of that, if you insult the comrades of the USSR, then you don't get funding for your disaster relief. I'd be against that. Like, this is a very simple thing. It has nothing to do with Israel, ironically, even though it's completely about Israel in this case. American citizens should be taken care of by the American government. America first means Americans first. And if you're from a foreign government, if you're from a foreign country, you should want the best for your country too. But I'm not from your country. I don't want to be from your country. I'm from this country. And I'm going to put American vets over other countries' vets. I'm going to put our people over your people. That's what being a nationalist is. having pride in your country. And we have a lot of work to do. But this is the story. You have to be able to say, this is my country. We are not a globalist entity. We have borders. They divide us, and rightfully so. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for listening, allowing me to vent my frustration, allowing me to get out my opinions and my feelings. I want to thank you for being so completely and totally charitable. And yeah, you guys are amazing. You allow me to say my piece. I never have to worry about, well, did I say the right thing? No, I just say what's on my mind. Sometimes people agree, sometimes people don't agree. But the fact is, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate people. If you're Israeli, I just want you to know I appreciate you being in the chat. I appreciate you supporting the channel. I'm America first, and I'm unapologetic about it. I think this country is great. It's why I live here. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. Just like if you lived in your own country, I would hope that you would have the same feeling. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the Trump administration has a lot of work to do. It needs to figure its shit out. It needs to stop lying. Needs to stop with this bullshit. And yeah, if it does that, it'll be right on track. I think Trump's doing a great job overall. But there are these hiccups every once in a while, and they need to really figure this shit out. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.